It is 6 o'clock.
All is well.
There's a written, which is out the hands-on, which is where you actually perform your stuff. And then
How you been? Good?
Just like you're saying, Jason.
Vice Mayor.
he's jammed himself.
When Chatty Cathy decided to sit down.
Any sidecar time?
I was here when you weren't, and you were here when I was.
These blue shirts.
We match.
I'd like to bring the meeting to order. Would you join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Please be seated. Could we have roll call, please?
Yes, you may. Councilmember Kelly.
Present.
Councilmember Turner.
Here.
Councilmember Perkins.
Here.
Councilmember Mendoza.
Here.
Councilmember Best is absent. Vice Mayor Miller.
Here.
Mayor Croft.
Here.
And our attorney is present remotely.
All right.
And his dog.
With his pet, with his dog. Which one's the real
It's
face?
about time you got the dog back. I can't hear Andrew.
He looks awfully happy.
The dog does.
Okay, introduction, presentation, and proclamation. Acknowledgement by Sheriff Masher regarding donation from the town for the fallen officers memorial. Sheriff, please come up and.
Well, I just wanted to come by personally just for a couple minutes to thank you all. Supervisor Brown as well wanted to thank the Chino Valley Town Council for your very generous donation to the Fallen Officer Memorial. We have reached our goal in about 6 weeks. We got the monies needed not just for the bronze, but the fencing, the landscaping, the rocks, the labor to do that. We heard from the bronze smith, Bill Nebeker, who believes he will be done by the end of November into the first part of December. So we're hoping to get an unveiling scheduled sometime then, and obviously you are part of this. We would love to have you all show up for the unveiling, and it should be very, very nice for generations to come. So again, from Supervisor Brown, our board, from myself, just thank you. It's very generous. It means a lot, your support to the local law enforcement and those who made the ultimate sacrifice. So thank you very much. And then one other note is last night, Commander Jody McCooch, some of you may know him out of Cottonwood, lost his life in a motorcycle accident off duty. But you may be hearing about that. He's a long-time Yavapai County law enforcement officer and tragically lost his life last night. So just keep him and his family in your thoughts and prayers. And again, thank you all very, very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming by.
Thanks.
Your pleasure. Okay, let's go on to call to the public. Call to the public is an opportunity for the public to address the council on any issue within the jurisdiction of the council that is not on the agenda. Public comment is encouraged. Individuals are limited to speak for 3 minutes. The total time for call to public may be up to 30 minutes per meeting. Council action taken as a result of public comment will be limited to directing staff to study the matter, scheduling the matter for further consideration and decision at a later date, or responding to criticism. Do we have anyone? Supervisor Brown, come on up.
Come on down, Mr.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I appreciate the opportunity to speak before you. I just want to remind all of our citizens here in Chino Valley and throughout, the county that on Friday morning, on 9/11 at 8 o'clock in the morning, out near the pistol range, we will be having a memorial event and breakfast. That should be a lot of fun, and also take time to realize what the day is all about. Also, there's another one at 6 o'clock in Prescott Valley at the Healing Fields, which is at the Prescott Valley City Hall. I want to remind you of that one also. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else that would like to speak? Hearing none, we'll go on. Current event summaries and reports. This item is for information only. The mayor, any council member or town manager may present a brief summary or report of current events. If listed below, there may also be a presentation on information requested by the mayor and council. Questions may be answered, no action will be taken. And item A is status reports by mayor and council regarding current events. Does anyone-
I'll go. I have a little thing. Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, we did the time capsule, and it's in and done. People were asking about the handprints there's a set of handprints there. When we were pouring the lid, one of my guys said, hey, why don't you get that little girl to put her handprints in here, and then maybe she'll be around in 50 years when they open it. So I asked the little girl to go get her mother. Well, when she come back with her mother, it was somebody I knew because she's a wife of a firefighter here local. So her name was Sadie. So you'll see a little set of handprints. She's 4 years old, and her handprints are there, and it says Sadie Schuster is her name, and then it says age 4. So just so anybody knows, if they look at it, we can get a lot of questions about it, and that'll be the way it is.
So Vice Mayor Matt Santos has put together a little 2-minute video of that day, of the event, and then we also have some pictures. So
Okay.
do you mind if we do them now?
No, not at all.
That's a great story. Thank you.
So I think we have a picture of you and the young gal.
Jack failed to mention that the reason actually the little girl put the handprints in there is because we know she might be around here in 50 years, where the rest of us probably won't.
Right.
That's true.
Hopefully.
You want to talk to any of the pictures?
Mark Twain showed up. He looks really good for his age, I thought. Am I talking or you want to talk, Matt? That's Mike Best, of course, during the presentation. That's uncovering the little concrete tomb, we called it. What's that?
Little?
Yeah, it's little. There's the plaque. And that is Kay, and I forgot, well, there you go. That's Kay, and what was that lady's name? Matt?
Shirley McGee is her married name, or
Yeah, but
maiden
her,
name was Shriver.
Silvers. Yeah, her great-grandfather or grandfather?
She's the great-great-granddaughter.
Okay. Was the first person to be at Del Rio
Oh,
after
wow.
the military pulled out. And her family came through town, and I read some of this up on Facebook, which is totally accurate. But her great-great-grandmother was like 15, and the family was coming through and stopped, and she wound up marrying the man that had I guess it was Silvers.
East side of 89,
Everything west of
or the
89.
west side of 89.
Right, from out of Del Rio, so, is that right?
And Kay Gloucester put a lot of that together. And
Right.
For any that don't have it, you can get one of our books.
That's right, it's in the book, I remember right, which are available here and at the library, along with T-shirts.
Good plug.
And that's little Sadie right there, and her mom's writing her name in the wet
Oh,
concrete.
yarn.
And there she is again,
How neat.
and that's doing it.
God bless your heart.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, cool. 4 years.
And that's one of my lead guy on the right. My wife's in the second from the right, and then myself and Mike Best. That's us putting the material inside the capsule.
Wow.
And that's me working hard like I always do.
Delegating.
And there's my other guy, Stevie. That's their last name is Boner. It's Donnie Boner and Stevie Boner. They've been in the Chino for a long, long time. And then my wife and myself. Cool. Thank you, Matt. I didn't know that was happening.
Video?
Oh, a video too?
You don't have to talk to me.
And don't tell Chief that my wife came over there because she was actually working at the time, so,
Chief who?
I don't know.
The sunset tells a story as the day draws to an end. As we sit here in the twilight, mid the glory of the land.
As far as objects of precious value being placed in a metal container and buried in the ground, being over 200 years old, I am somewhat familiar with the process.
Thank you, Mark, for that introduction. As co-chair of the 50th anniversary and a member of the town council, I would like to thank everybody who came out today for our unveiling of our time capsule. All right. That's it.
1967, the Shivers family moved into Chino Valley, and Shirley is the great-great-daughter of Hannah Shivers, who moved here in 1867. And to thank her for coming today, and also because she agreed to an interview, we have a gift copy to give to you, signed by a few of our notable people. Thank you, Shirley.
All right. That kind of ends our presentation and our revealing of our time capsule. I hope we all go ahead and have a wonderful Labor Day weekend.
Where the mountains head the waters of the Verde, where the wind blows wild and free across the land. It's a symbol of our freedom, with a message to our soul. It's the final touch that shows the master's hand.
Very nice, Matt.
Very
Thank you.
nice.
Good job, Matt.
Thank you, Matt. That was nice.
Can you mention about John Little?
Me?
Sure.
John Little wrote that song about Chino, the Ballad of Chino Valley. Is that not the title?
Yeah, the plan was for him to come out for the celebration that we had to postpone, so.
Hopefully he'll be here and we can
hopefully
come
it'll be
back
next year.
in a
We'll
year.
reschedule.
So, but anyway, that's it. And that was him singing it.
And where does he live?
In New Mexico,
New
somewhere
Mexico.
northern New Mexico, if I remember right.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly where. Donna, do you? Okay.
I just write it down.
Mr. Kelly, do you have anything?
No.
Ms. Turner, Mr. Mendoza, do you have anything?
Nope.
Nothing
Ms.
for me.
Perkins? Then I'm going to turn it over to our town manager.
So I have a handful of things, so be patient.
Okay.
The first one I'd like to speak to is there was a letter to the editor, and some council members have asked me about some of the fundraising that the police department has been doing on social media for some events that they're having to raise funds, and how those things weren't included in the budget. So we asked the chief to put together a response, and he asked me to read this tonight, so I will. As many in the community are aware, the Chino Valley Police Department is currently involved in two separate fundraisers. One to raise money for improvements to the training facility at Old Home Manor, and the second to purchase all-day wear plates which fit into their current body armor, increasing the resistance to higher caliber bullets. The department also just received two generous donations from local business owners to purchase ballistic helmets and face shields for all officers. The department reaching out to secure funding sources outside of their normal budget is in no way a reflection the department is not being supported by town and council. In fact, the opposite is true. The town council, town manager, and finance department have for many years been highly supportive of the police department, especially when it comes to purchasing needed equipment. The Chino Valley PD is one of only a few local agencies to have body cameras. We were also one of the first agencies in our area to have mobile data computers in our vehicles, carry Narcan to treat opioid overdoses, and have IFLAC medical kits for every officer. The department has always sought to be good stewards of our taxpayers' money. We have utilized grants, public-private partnerships, free government surplus equipment, and fundraising as a way to supplement our financial resources. As with every law enforcement agency in the country, we do not have an unlimited budget. Therefore, we prioritize our needs each year. This current budget year, we chose to replace our portable radios, which were outdated and beginning to break on a regular basis. We planned on replacing all the radios over a 2-year period, but received a grant to enable us to replace them all this fiscal year. As our budget process starts early in the calendar year, the turmoil and violence currently occurring around the country had not started. As this problem continues to grow, it became more important to enhance the safety equipment our officers have available to them. The idea of the ballistic plates and helmets was brought forward by our patrol staff with the recommendation of using the SHIELD 616 program to raise the needed funding. SHIELD 616 is a nonprofit organization dedicated to help raise funding for safety equipment used by first responders. The drive-through barbecue and raffle for the training facility will be used to help fund some needed maintenance and continue developing the police department's shooting ranges in the training facility. Chino Valley's training facility and range was constructed by a variety of funding sources to include RICO seizure monies, private donations, State of Arizona post funding, and financial assistance from the Yavapai County Sheriff's Office. By bringing multiple resources together, we have been able to construct one of the most elite shooting ranges and training facilities in northern Arizona. We continue to work on developing additional resources at the facility, as quality training is the foundation of developing a great police force. Respectfully, Chief Wynn. So the mayor had asked for a response from some of the comments in the public, so that's that. Secondly, if you would put up the did you have a question?
No, ma'am.
Oh, okay. The volunteers for the library. So I wanted to acknowledge our volunteers at the library. We've done this every year, and this year because we weren't able to have a volunteer appreciation luncheon, at least the hours for the library staff got written down. So they donate over 6,000 hours every year. So using just minimum wage, that saved the town over $73,000. This is not to not give credit to anybody at the senior center, the Parks and Rec, and all the other departments, the police department as well, that we have volunteers do work. But I just want to make sure that we acknowledge these people from the police department. Next, I wanted to, do you have the Yavapai Trails? This weekend we have Yavapai Trails Association is doing some work days out at on the Peavine Trail out here in Chino Valley. These dates and times are on our website, but I also want to pass out to council. They're going to be putting up some kiosks that have some historical information. And I don't know if I gave the clerks this. But why don't you guys go ahead and take a copy of these. It's very nice. And these are going to be on the Peavine Trail here in Chino Valley. And it gives some history of the Peavine Trail. I wanted to mention we've had 3 retirees in the last several months. We've had Lori Wiesenen from the police department. She was a civilian officer. Bill Butts from our road department, and Mark Isa from roads department. All 3 have retired, and we're actively looking for replacements in their positions. And then we also have some anniversaries I wanted to recognize, although Bill Butts is on there, so he's also retired. So as you can see, several of them have been on here for more than 15 years. And so a big shout out to some of our good staff. And I see Frank, you're on there for 3 years, so good job. Last thing I had, I wanted to just give a shout out to APS. We had, during a microburst we had a couple weeks ago, we had a citizen here in Chino Valley who had a ripped down the panel pole on their building. This person is a stage 4 cancer patient and in a pretty tough financial position. APS asked for some help from different communities out here, like Habitat for Humanity, et cetera. And I just wanted to, as well, give thanks to Habitat for Humanity, even to the town of Chino Valley, and some others who have pitched in to get this guy back into his house who's had some challenging times. And it kind of just shows how when community all pitches in, people can make things happen. So I just wanted to acknowledge that. That's it for the manager's report. Yes.
If I might add something to that, APS, I had a meeting with them this morning in regards to that gentleman's situation, And APS has found a contractor who's gonna come in and put in a 200 amp box, is that right?
Service.
Okay, 200 amp circuit and box for his, get him back up and running. So he should be back in his house by the end of the week.
Good, thank you.
That's great, that's super. It's our community at work. Okay. Anyone else have anything? Let's go on to item 5 with the consent agenda. All those items listed below are considered to be routine and may be enacted by one motion. Any council member may request to remove an item from the consent agenda to be considered and discussed separately. Is there any items that you'd like to have removed? Anyone?
I'll make a motion, we approve consent agenda items A and B as written.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Action items. The council may vote to recess the public meeting and hold an executive session on any item on this agenda pursuant to ARS 38-431-03A3 for the purpose of discussion or consultation for legal advice with the town attorney. Executive sessions are not open to the public and no action may be taken in executive session. I would like to take item 6C and move it up in front of item 6A. I'll need a motion for that.
I'll make a motion, we move item 6C to prior to item 6A.
Second.
A motion is second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, now I would like to read item 6C. Consideration possible action to exercise the authority granted in Governor Ducey's Executive Order 2020-43, allowing or denying organized public events of more than 50 people, effective until the governor rescinds the executive order.
I'll make a motion, we move to executive session.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to move the executive session. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. We will go into executive session.
Okay.
Don't have to kick people out. We're gonna go on that one. Yeah, just like old times with the masks.
Is there something I didn't read there?
Yeah, I'm confused.
I think it's just the legal explanation of what we can and can't do.
And the money raised is gonna go for a police car, for the canine car, for the new canine car, for the new canine car.
But then I approached the bench. So what, we got a list and we got a lot of notes and crap and what have you, but at least it shows, you'll see where we made notes, people that are receptive to the office of the back. And you have to be a better
We're doing 3 right now.
Yeah.
It's kind of business right now.
I read it Monday. But, yeah, it is, but the biggest thing of it is that it's for police department, and you're gonna find a lot of officers out there. Yeah, this works. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna go out there.
So we've got like 5-6 pages worth of people, you know, and they have, I mean, it's until, we probably have hit up 25% of them, and, cause an awful lot of them are just people you wouldn't talk to. And, but just see who we would,
Yeah.
we had.
Does Brian have his email?
Tom, you and Diana know how to get hold of one another, right?
Yep.
I'll just get it to her, you guys,
Yeah.
Diana, you can take care of that, right?
Do what now?
Get him the list. Email him the list, the raffle dip list.
Okay.
And he can print it off.
I'll have paper copy and we can just take a picture of it, post it.
And then, see if I see anything different, because I've never ran raffles here for the dog show for 5 years. We did baskets and gift cards. And we raise about 2,000 for that. So if you don't have something I know about, I might pass the information to you. Now, when are your functions?
This was gonna be October 10th. The twofold that we was talking about, the plates, that's an ongoing, donations that are coming into the out of Chino Valley Police Department. And so they're collecting money.
So that's all cash?
That's cash, yeah.
Oh, I thought you guys,
No, then we have another one that I'm even more involved personally about, and that's October 10th, and that is for the barbecue, for raffle price. And I mean, we've got, gift certificates for meals at McDonald's and that sweets and we have just monetary, gifts, so we have, we give it to okay. A lot of different stuff.
yeah, there's a lot, if you go up into Prescott, up in those restaurants in Prescott, up in the mall and stuff, they're all good for gift cards.
We have,
They're all good for 25 gift cards, yeah. They'll feed a couple, they'll say $25 off a meal, you know, for a
Steak
family.
restaurant, that big steak restaurant, Roadhouse or whatever.
All of them. All of them. Because there's a lot of restaurants up in that, and you start looking at them, and then you got In-N-Out and Olive Garden on the other side. You go on down into Prescott Valley, and they're all supporting us.
we have stayed up here.
You know who else is really good at it is, what's that coffee company?
Dutch Brothers. Oh, there's one along 69? Yeah, Dutch Brothers.
Yeah, and then there's one up in Prescott by McDonald's. They're always busy, and they've been very good to me about, a free $10 or something. Okay, Starbucks the same way.
Good advertising.
It is.
Yeah, it went down. It went down.
And there's some really nice places downtown.
Everybody around here looking for jobs.
But anyway,
The nice thing.
yes.
Our daughter works for the PD, she's one of the newest officers
50 years.
there. And she says that the people are always dropping food off to them and baking things.
I feel so sorry for the barbecue place.
Well, it's not gonna be,
What is it?
we don't,
The Mitchell Post?
we only go four and.
In 2 weeks, they lost 3 people. One going to work for the prison, one going to work for Yavapai County, and one going to work for Yavapai tribe. In 3 weeks, they lost 2. Well,
Go back to cooking barbecue and then going to be law enforcement.
yeah.
So they were in the academy?
No, they left for it.
Oh, left for the academy because they reopened the, Northern.
Yeah. Look, society's not doing real well because
Yeah, of this time.
it was, well, they got closed right after they got open. And, they didn't have a couple of years to build stuff up. And so they're having trouble.
So we took like one.
But yeah, I
What's
did-
the organization that doing this now?
Him.
Young Mr. Wynn, or Chief
Well,
Wynn?
I guess Wynn knows about it.
Hitching Post is doing it.
Hitcher Post is doing it.
And for police car, for the next.
Yeah, we've got a letter from Chino PD.
All right, cool.
So is there any?
And I can show.
Well, you know Marilyn, you know who I'm talking about? Marilyn Easton. Lori Wisenhunt that's just retired. Marilyn replaced her as the supervisor civilian officer. And all of us that are volunteers in the police department, we work for her.
So Diana, what have you been up to? Working?
Unless I work for Jeff. I mean, unless Officer Kizzy has something for me to do then.
You're supposed to retire, so you can come do this.
So they.
I got 20 months.
Da 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 da.
I have to get my time in at the VA, so I can retire with the benefits. So 20 months, 20 months to go.
And count it down. And what do you do here?
I work from home, I'm actually a medical coder. And I actually work for the VA in White City, Oregon.
White City? Where's that?
Oregon.
Oregon.
It's more of a mental health, it's a small VA compared to, I work with two teammates. And it's a little bit bigger than Oregon, smaller than the one we have out here.
Think of like a 2.5
A
acre
lot
parcel,
of
3
drugs
big.
and alcohol. I know, but that's their thing, that's all their focus is, they don't, you guys here,
And let me tell you, that emergency room is really good.
I know, I used to work for it, I mean, I coded for it, that was my
But
specialty.
they were
So
really
the 3 to
good.
1 here is the relationship of these two.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah, that makes sense.
It's clean, it's fast, it's right.
More than 50 people that go to the football games.
Yeah. But they're limited to what they can do, stabilize and send them out. A lot of complicated stuff.
Kept his out.
Well, it's a good staff, good staff. Management,
You got
not
2.5.
good, but
Yeah.
No,
that was there.
4 2.5.
Yeah, the staff was
So they were
wonderful.
165
Management,
road on the other side of the
they keep bringing in people that have been on the side even the Philippines.
I know. Or people who are ready to retire, that are up in management, they get kind of milking it until they retire. Yeah, very toxic environment when I was there.
I don't think it's changed much.
Nope, it hasn't.
So the change.
I keep trying to go back because I worked, live back there, I'd rather work for that.
Well, but then you couldn't do it on, then you couldn't do it from home, they make you come in.
Exactly. If you can do it at other VAs, they have to offer the same thing.
McAvoy, Austin McAvoy.
But I don't mind, I don't mind, I still live.
It's not like it's an hour drive.
No, no, but I like, I liked it there, I just, it was very toxic with the
Or
man.
they try to split a flat today.
Well, I know they got the doctor right now.
So I think I'm gonna be taking his spot when he becomes.
Good idea. I was hoping you were gonna bring that up.
Yeah, well, Mayor's already said.
You weren't alone. This
And it's very in line.
Give you a hand out. Then you have the street.
I am on the committee for the police department, that's kind of interesting. In the new building.
The road is, it's expanded. Well, you know, space for.
Well, that's filling some spots, so.
What's that word?
Yeah, I think so.
It's one south. You get down close to one south, I think it is. There's a well, there's an old irrigation well there, and the road that goes back in. That's still be cool. Is that it? There's probably 20, 15 houses off of that. Oh, it looks, they put up in this. Oh my gosh, I drove down there one day, I'm like, what the heck, you can't even turn around again. Yeah,
Wherever they go.
that's probably the worst example.
They cannot,
Right,
and,
one of the worst
and
examples.
if
Yeah.
the second is the one supposed to run full, if she makes a decision, she'll in front of her. That's
Oh, that's another. Thank God I had nothing to do with that.
the ones that are running off.
So, well.
Yeah, it's not toys, it's these two.
Yeah.
And I don't know, whether they're gonna stay on there or go forward.
These are the two that are up next.
I don't, if anybody does, it's
I'm keeping my signs, I don't know.
Yeah, leave one of those two, maybe both of them. I'm not sure what the rotation dates are, nobody said anything about staying or going or anything else. I would imagine one of them would stay, you never know.
Yeah, yeah.
At the last minute, somebody piss them off and they say never mind.
My wife said, do they really need to put in all the?
Had enough this time.
gotta keep it going, I said, everybody's falling off, everybody has,
So there's a piece in the
gotta keep
middle
some
there.
people on there.
And that's why they do it every 2 years, so you have.
And that's what I said, it's a 2-year thing, I thought they should, you know, but it's 4 years, every 2 years.
But it's too much, you know, not having, it doesn't benefit him, rather having it. But you know, a lot of those, push come to shove, kind of issues, sure, you got to work out, well, sure. Then you have issues.
These two,
Sites.
no, I think it's two, I think it's these two twice a year later, 2 years later.
Well, they have, so there's annual, instead of 2 years?
2 years.
No, I mean, there is somebody that's coming off it every year.
No, every 2.
Every 2. I think,
Okay, you got 7 people.
I think Close came in on a 4-year. These guys are finishing their 4-year and they Close will be the next one.
We're the best case.
So you're 2 years after this.
What is the vice, the vice mayor get now, 1.8 together, or is it like the mayor?
Yeah, it's up to Jack, whoever he wants to appoint.
Oh, the 7.
And they, so here's the property, here's Thomas Rennie's school. I mean, build a subdivision, you know, leave this commercial strip. Build a subdivision where Triple K goes right here. These people are driving, just cut across the lot. They didn't want to come out to these sides.
Way too.
So they've just been, for years, they were kind of driving like this. And they just said, you know, build this commercial. And court, the neighbors just, hey, that's our path to Circle K, shortest distance between 2 buildings. And the court's on us, and they said, hey, you've been visitor for like 5 years.
Senior center.
That became the road.
Senior center for what?
Diagonally through this commercial property.
Senior
They
center.
haven't met in a year.
So,
And one other one that hasn't met.
they were actually, the government.
Board,
I told Randy, what's the board on Friday? Should have cell service.
they only meet when there's a problem.
Text, any emails I start getting, like,
Once a year.
Once a year they have
start
to.
banging the air and hell.
But they haven't met.
Start
Okay, that's what, it wasn't the folder.
What's the board,
Well, I
they
think,
have to meet.
you know,
Video on TMZ, they only show like just a little part.
There's 15 different committees.
I know, that's the other one.
But the other one that's gonna come up,
but I've seen it where it's like, hey, we post there, you can lock it, post it, take pictures and say, we shut it down. That's what they did the first one. We shut down the app.
the thing that makes, it's what's the most easy.
Yeah. Send them a letter, I've seen them send a letter, tell you what, Frank, I don't mind if you use it, but it's gonna be by agreement. So here, and it's on you, and you can use it, but in other words, I have the right to revoke it too. Administrator.
That's the town.
Because that's what gives everybody else. Planning and zoning everybody. Yeah. And it's what they want the plan to be to. And how they make decisions on what can grow, where what needs to be.
A couple of years on P and Z makes, then the next time they bring something up, they actually believe you when you go, oh, you ain't doing that.
I just bought a piece of land.
Tom, we just wanted
December 8th.
It's in the pocket.
That's what needs to be.
They got around doing subdivision.
Why, what
get rid
we're
of
gonna see it.
not
Well,
building
did,
these flag
oh,
lots.
yeah.
And
They're trying to,
like the
like
one I'm
run
on,
again.
I have a
I'm gonna have to join
They
these,
ask
yeah, I
for
got
forms,
it, but I think I'm a little.
All this flag
Forms,
feet.
whatever.
Stuff on it.
My neighbors is 450, he's got the two. poles.
Yeah, I know.
Somebody complained, my neighbor complained.
And then they rescinded it at the very end and decided it was gonna.
City said.
Kept having you wrong name, right?
Yep, yeah, changed my name through.
And then I couldn't.
I know, that's what I'm,
First half
I'm
of
kind
it,
of going,
so
what
they
am I
actually
gonna
told
do?
me
What do I wanna do?
I couldn't get video, right?
But the next time they ask you how many meetings you've been
Yeah,
to,
because it never was.
don't say, I haven't been any because I work.
We don't take, we don't want that kind of city, no, and now I'm paying for it, I buy a trailer, or do I just hire?
Billy was.
Billy was
I
one of the.
Small trucks.
Well, where the.
I've been to meetings.
I know, well, that's what I couldn't believe you said it, because I was like, she's been to meetings.
No, that wasn't me.
Yeah, they started chasing it down.
So I told my wife, I figured that out.
Everybody looked like a bunch of assholes.
It costs me $400 a month. I think I'm gonna do that, so I don't have to, I told her, okay, you know, it's snowing already. 500 So, and they did it just to get around, you know, they want to build a road for 2 or 4 people. So there's just 2 flags, and I got 3 other people using it, and they don't want to go in it. It's just a mess. And so I can't force them to do it. They're like, hey, thanks for the road, and they've been using it for years. So I can't do anything.
I've heard it from 15 or 20 different. Yeah, I know. I've seen her.
Oh, and actually,
But I never said I didn't go to any town council, I wouldn't lie, it would be.
No, that was better than
I've been, I've been to most of them, I also went to the.
this is pine trees
The academy, but
around
they.
it, so it's got shade, so when it gets snow, it's gonna be nice.
And I did that.
I'm not doing it.
Citizens Academy for.
Because I was thinking, okay, take it, bring it 2 times every month, 2 cans, 2 times every week.
Right in that, they do a good job of that.
100 trips, that's 2 cans, that's 400 or 200 trips.
I haven't, but I'm gonna start to, because it's been a one.
Most of the radio station stuff in the forums.
Where is this?
I know, I watched some of them.
2 trips.
Prescott, was it Prescott radio?
They don't care.
Yeah.
The Prescott does.
Nobody here.
Pick them up same day.
I would watch.
It's separate trips, but same day.
That's what one Mark puts
Yeah,
on.
because the one truck comes with their cyclone and the
well,
other
not
truck
one,
is
but-
Blockhead.
Yeah,
It's the one that she's on every morning.
yeah,
Oh, is she on?
Prescott.
yeah, Andy's on with them all the time.
Who does it? Who puts it? I know.
Prescott Live.
Yeah.
Prescott Live, whatever that is. I was watching, I wouldn't go on that one, I was watching,
Prescott had issues.
and.
It's nice when people talk to people, but they're not.
You know, people don't, they don't police it. Even my wife is getting.
No,
that isn't recycled. That doesn't
getting out.
She's like, oh, I.
Yeah. I was going to businesses, and talking to business owners. And.
Chief said you came in.
I talked to him, I talked to Natalie. I was setting up meetings with all of them.
Scare you when you look back at what's going on? At home? My daughter was a bishop.
And the problem is this year, and some of them were not, I mean, I didn't get to, I didn't spray them. I have this guy that does not have to spray, but I did it most of the time, so there's a lot of stuff.
Okay, so
Some of them.
you do listen to instinct, nothing else. Good choice.
My daughter was in country with in the canyon last year, they had a fire, you know, the big fire. And they're pretty much trapped in there. They had to evacuate several times, and everybody evacuated at the same time, it was gridlock. No place to go.
I guess they do.
I got another 400 or 500 off the, so I've been giving them a You ever had the Santa Rosa Falls? They're kind of, they're not like, the same exact symptoms.
Anyway, they were all evacuated from the places. Those were all.
These are more like this.
For the big road, those were all little feeder roads.
So they're
gridlock, but you get it. And that's what happens down in the when the hurricane come in. They have to evacuate Galveston before they can evacuate on the mainland, because they flood sooner than Galveston does. So they evacuate Galveston. You evacuate from Galveston or that area,
bites like an owl.
write it out
Have you ever
in
had
your
one?
phone.
They bite like an owl. It tastes like, you feel like a cross-town pear.
This is weird.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get my antibodies test, cause I'm gonna start
Yeah.
selling my closet.
You have it?
I had it.
Yeah. Oh, Bartlett's had it.
It was about 4 days, and when she started bringing me over, and that was about it.
That's our administrative filter on that.
According to what you came home.
I wanted to
Say, and that says whether we can have events here.
Oh, well, so, and he knows that he got it right. A couple that came back off the cruise, there's no pattern, right, they came into town.
Yeah, but the more people that get it and recover, the better it is for
You gotta get lots of effort, lots
Yeah.
of lots of.
Yeah,
You gotta
and
fit.
it's actually.
That's what it is.
So last year my biggest
You could go to a
this
bar
year,
and drive off with your drink
this
count.
year, I thought over.
You can do that.
Before you go to a restaurant.
You can take your drink with you.
I didn't think about that, but I kept thinking about that, it's like, wait a second.
And now I have.
When we lived in New Orleans, that was what you did, you got rotops all around the door.
And it's just funny, because whenever
It
you
was
see
a wonderful
We didn't even have to ask.
you really should
Yeah, that was just.
you know, this started things I wrote four right here. So I
I was
pulled.
pregnant when she was
Okay.
44.
Yeah,
So I
try
don't
to
know,
pull
there's
three,
a
so
little
it's
different
one
climate
that
than today. I
But
mean,
Chino
it's,
can
it's
take
in
we did last year,
It's
because I've got,
I was trying to get.
yeah, the shoots, the shoots with those. I mean, you have the shoots, but then you they take up the grill.
Yeah, I mean, but.
Duck.
But the cut,
Calm down, it's fine.
the cut is what grows the most fruit. When you trim it back, and it's scary, you can see when you trim it, it's like, oh, gosh, it just feels
We
like
never had
fruit.
any issues.
But if you cut that in February, by June,
I would actually like.
it's grown 3 or 5 feet down. And then that's where all the blossoms come from, it's on the new.
Well, being there for canopies, the canopies would be 4 or 5 foot apart,
So
so.
I've got, this guy did it for like 6 or 7 years that I went from
If you're
enforcement.
sick, you're
So I
gonna
have
be
semi-dead trees, yeah, easiest hotels, and front is slowly transmission, you know, stops there.
Where's that?
Bringing it.
It's
If we have your support too.
The trucks stop.
Bring it to the council and let them decide.
And they're still.
Southern California.
I got 130, I got out to 30.
You still associated?
It's a semi-dead, it shouldn't be more than 12.
Who is president?
Right, Stephen
My son was
Summers.
Steve.
That's the purpose of it. To be able to get to
I was
it.
the president.
So I've got an extension and a ladder.
Well, how is fire
Extension,
going?
I'm not there trying
I mean,
to basket this.
my daughter's up
Free.
Her PDI was
2 hours away.
chairman.
And
We call him the chairman.
But that's, yeah, you
her
gotta,
car,
If you were a president, you got singled out, you got lousy shit, you got all this shit.
yeah.
Chief's
No,
already-
Chief was nice, dude.
That's fine.
We always get along.
City manager, yeah, yeah.
So,
Problem is spring.
I got along with the city.
You'll see those trees bud. It's
I'm just
fun.
a very, I'm a
You
very.
never get a frost in.
yeah, we have a friend that's at his house got a
You
hundred
really should catch it.
he's got a fire 6
November
months,
and
yeah.
January.
And that's the problem, is these fires are holding
That was like the.
Yeah.
we had last
and
time.
the smoke is
Yeah.
sitting on, but when you move.
Well, we came from
Well, that's what
Mariposa.
we'll do
I know.
across
We had
Pouring rain for DUI.
hill, house,
such
one way in, one way out.
This whole department.
Where was your husband?
then I can get
In
more.
a town called Poop Jack.
Okay, so where is it?
Right off, a mile off the road. You know where the, how familiar are you with
It's
Poop Jack?
probably been 10 years since
live
I've
there.
been.
Oh, you did?
Watch out,
That's
Chino,
right.
When they
Chief
come
Kelly,
for
deputy,
Close parallels.
Top staff.
that.
Thank you very much.
I remember when she was there, it was wagon.
That's the way it needs to stay. Well, it will continue to go that way.
Hey, Rod.
A box.
In Mariposa, what was the name of the our turn off? No, that was their other.
I mean, I obviously.
The homestead we were on, no, we were on homestead, but
There's some needed changes.
not there, there was down by Blue Jet.
Here.
Anyway, you find out, that's how they do.
Oh, okay, just that, tip top is 24 Oakers.
And they come in.
Down at that,
And that was.
Yeah.
in fact, there's still
Shake
on
everything.
We have
What's
been
the name
putting
of
in this state.
49.
49.
Yeah.
Okay, on
And it
49,
just shows how we've evolved more than
between
they have.
It was like 20
the
stuff.
Does
Y,
it need to be, I think, a little form, a little change throughout the country? Yeah.
projected to the Y, and 41.
Defunding, because
That
that's
way?
the first
Yeah.
thing, that's the
Okay.
first thing it goes.
Coming in from Oakhurst, there's a
I
Y.
was in a police
I
breakfast.
got a mile, a quarter
And
mile by
41 goes this way, and
Okay, you talk about, okay, 41, you know, President is the 50th, you know, that's 41. And 49 feeds into that, and that's it, 49 then goes to Mariposa and all the way to Sonoma.
When I lived there,
engineers and everything.
gravels. In fact, we got really excited when some gravels, when they finally graveled.
What I've been trying to do.
Anyway, there's a Y.
I'm trying to get these
And just before the Y, out towards Oakhurst, there was two buildings.
My dad still.
One is a school, one, the school was the, used to be the other building. And this is the church. Anyway, the school, the church moved to the school, and the school went away. It's a two-room schoolhouse, with a husband and wife. And I was just.
They're not gonna do that to me
My grandfather built a lot of the old homesteads and then the old roads.
No, yeah, you're needed. And I think
Coming
with,
up,
you know,
Yeah,
everything
town,
like,
there's a White House. It is now a monument house, and that was my great grandfather.
but you got some states that are close, like here, and there's some states that
Huh?
Post is.
Warrior, Mile
State to
In,
state,
Homestead,
they
and
pretty much
Mile
get consistent
There
with
was,
each
I
other.
was trying to remember the name.
Yeah. Those weren't there then. We didn't have very many roads then.
Well, we were given roads.
Well, the lady who had it and divorced her to do, so she owned all that property.
Well,
The boy
they were, well, they were right there, they lived in Warrior. Yeah, Warrior was their name.
And then you had a lady who lost her.
Oh, yeah.
I would have been done with it. What the heck? What's the thing?
I like the lady who was the young one, so lady by Reed was born, she was probably 25 or
It was Wasses and Rains. Rains lived up on the mountain. And then, yeah. So we did. And then there was a Mexican restaurant on down 49. Yeah, whatever that was. They got their very first stove when they first got there.
tortillas fresh. Chips and salsa.
Yeah, no, this is their kids.
Well, I was saying, chips and salsa, when you go there, everything's made fresh.
Every time I get up there, which is once in 5 or 6 years.
My girlfriend's coming from
Oh, it's a local one. We hired another agency.
That's still the coolest place I've ever known.
Roger, the little Mexican restaurant on 41 and 49?
All I know is they got the best chicken burritos
She
in
knows
Lake
the
Island.
place.
Huh?
She knows the place.
Yeah.
Well, I know
She
the
knew it from
grandfather.
the family, from the parents.
They were, they had perfectly,
My
right
grandfather
when the
had a
avocado
lumber
was there, it was
property,
super.
and he ran the lumber mill, and did a lot of help with my grandfather's building and stuff. So they gave me a stove that, we used to make mud pies on. And they took our mud pie stove.
I know they have a website.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But
Alright, but you're taking it, you have a lot.
your house was,
There must be an engineer to fix that.
well, streets really know.
My grandfather died, my grandmother, so my grandfather got sick.
Well, you got
And he was.
barely enough to skip by or whatever. So,
I
salt.
was in Houston, I wanted to go to my grandparents every year.
Are they having to raise the?
For summer, because,
I just,
yeah, to get some,
well, we'll do yours.
so I had to go to grandpa's. They had
You know that
160 acres, and I had to
Double
take my
in
horse.
Illinois,
This
and
is a two-car horse.
I don't know what the hell you call it.
I had, we were there, it was the market.
Old gate.
No, we were in the market, we were right there.
And you said, damn. And then he was.
Child services, where are they when you get them?
But he was the naturalist then, you know, cool now, but back then, he taught us how to travel.
Yeah.
How to stay up late, so we got to see stuff. I mean,
Have to raise the profile.
it's just a marvelous way to grow up, getting out there.
Cause right now it's just flowing over, right?
You know, in old part of town where the big, boats are. Away from the fairgrounds, right? And the big birds.
I figured it would be too.
That was the grocery store.
Said it'd be right back.
Well, that's
Yeah, it's there.
So what I liked about it was
They do that 53.
That's half the
still make still, my address
You guys
is still
learned
in
from
Mariposa.
the,
But we live.
sent me a video.
So we still have that, return address.
I'm trying to think that, I didn't,
But I guess.
I want to read that, you know, how you all.
Triangle School?
Yeah, still there.
There's three of my
That's
kids.
the.
We stopped,
Watch
The White House there?
because you know we're
Huh?
recorded
The White House?
Watch what this guy says.
they're actually.
Understand what the whole stands for. That's how many
The 50, and then I'd
seconds
say
you
this
got,
is how many
seconds that you got. That's why.
Yeah, it goes here and it goes behind.
Yeah, in fact, my brother
Goes
used to
right
be
here and it goes.
ADA administrator.
my grandparents.
It's right here, so it's right at 4 north.
And they were.
My father stays out in Martin, my brother used to do this here in
Diagonal.
She almost moved there, we had a chance to buy her grandfather's place, but couldn't make it happen at the time.
I think it goes on this side of all of
But that's what
Austin, San Antonio.
the kids can't stay there and work because there's no jobs.
It has to, because I was looking at this, this is really high.
But he says Houston
Houses
can't
are
keep
gonna be
house.
going under there
I
too.
mean, there's no.
Cannot keep, that's why you see on TV, right over here, corners, right with house. It's always Houston PD or one of the others.
Oh, I thought.
What? You ever been to Texas? Hot, humid,
I
miserable.
grew up in the Mississippi River Valley, so.
Oh, then you know.
Yes, a good day is 98, 98.
So this is quarter on this land, starts at 7, and it goes all the way to his property.
Oh, Dallas.
This fence, the,
So why Houston? I mean, yeah, they do.
After
Katrina, they had sent all those people.
and then he rounds,
Yeah.
he relocated the house and back to the.
Stay in Houston. It's their primary roof.
Yeah, Katrina, they relocated, tried to work with him,
Chinese restaurant there.
was one, and the second.
Anything else, did you hear anything else about the Boston?
Crossing.
For what Abbott's gonna do there?
Landslide.
Abbott said it was gonna rain out.
That entrance in these.
We actually have it.
So all of us
We
have
have,
colored.
we have a little there.
And so our business suffered. They were the ones that suffered, and then when they finally.
Except for
realized,
Boston.
it's just went to house.
We said, hey, let's make this a
Some
decent
citations.
size, you know.
I don't know.
Abbott's size, it's not
In
300.
Austin, Texas.
In Austin.
Yeah, they were Austin,
Austin,
very fun. Oh,
Fair enough.
the big cities, Houston, yeah, I mean, their mayor is literally for quite a
Well,
while.
they continue to defund in Austin, the governor's already indicated he'll defund them.
That's what I was asking.
Be the organized state sales tax. And Texas is kind of funny because their income tax is nothing.
But he's up
Because
here.
their property tax is very high.
So the walls have been covered, so they
Well, I know,
where the old mirrors were.
And yours were still there. Because the mirrors were still there. There was two bars next door. to each other.
Maryland's gonna be in tomorrow.
four north.
One up and down and one across.
We'll show you when he's sitting
And
down.
that's only like a 6 lot.
Yeah, that's that
There
long
was
piece.
three big
Yep,
lots,
yep.
3 or 4 big lots.
Oh, he split off a
And then,
piece?
He split off a piece with that.
if I saw, I could show you all kinds of stuff
When
that
we
was
told
there.
him, you can't split it off.
He used to have the neatest secondhand store.
You know these guys.
There was only 2
Zoning,
places.
but you have
It wasn't
to
until
plat it out.
They have, you know, for being such a small town,
Yeah.
downtown
I'm
area,
thinking of
they
taking that
have
back to
several
Kansas.
really, really good restaurants.
it's out in the new part of town.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not,
all open now, all downtown.
there's nothing in town big enough to put a restaurant in.
Downtown Mariposa,
The whole block long.
it's more than a block.
Oh.
So unless they've added.
I talked to him about.
They go to executive session.
Normally we don't eat dinner now.
They're not always, usually when they go to executive session,
The big
Okay, so there
sidewalks
was a
are.
bank, that's now a
Can I
restaurant.
say, it's got your name on it?
Bank that was downtown.
so they're
Like
back.
there, it's a restaurant?
It's a restaurant,
Oh.
across the street from that was a drugstore,
Yeah,
which is also a restaurant.
we gotta get there once.
Very nice, very good.
Well, it gives them a chance to
When I
talk
was
over
there,
it
the
without,
bank
you
was
know,
on one end of it,
no, without the public hearing. it.
Okay, we went to
He's in the back
Tribuco's,
seat, it's a high.
Tribuco's book sold was.
The regular joking. You could write a letter.
Stay in this room, you couldn't have 50
We talked for a few minutes, I drive away. And I looked at him. I'm like, he's got $200.
That's a requirement.
Joe just threw him in the car. I turned around, went back, I threw him back.
And then, honestly, there was a bar next to the place where you could put money.
Did say it had mandatory masks. So in the county, we're not going to work for masks.
And they were old, they've been around.
Some towns made it mandatory, especially on the Verde side.
We need to do some
They are
business.
mandatory, you have to wear it.
What kind of business?
Everywhere you go.
I don't know. We can do any kind of business. Just some kind of business. You're the last one. We have this. I want my soul to remain intact. What's that?
Huh? They're still big on them.
What if this comes down to?
Are we gonna have to wear the trauma plates?
Yeah.
There's a guy that used to own it.
I competed in the fair version one.
They're super light, they're ceramic, so they're way, they're actually they're way lighter. So the plates are babies. They're
Going after
And
it.
then he had a but he blew out it like an after, and then he went ahead and did it. And then after the
Yeah, you can't do that, but I was just wearing that when I was in
I
Canada.
have
this.
I went down, I hurt his neck, and shot him across the house.
My back would be killing me.
Usually there's all kinds of
Exactly, because it's just
I
they
want that rough.
you know, they're all made up, these new ones, they're made by Chino, and I thought they're badass.
Light hay, there's other pressure.
So you can actually put two pieces of them.
You actually bring escrow.
So you can have a lower,
Money's right there.
those all ways and stuff.
Under my foot, I'm figuring it's gonna go.
Together, but you got smaller, and then, but they're.
I just grabbed one
Just put the water up.
and the horse went out and we
Well,
left.
those are allowed to serve in your service area. I'm required to serve me, I'm required to leadership, you know, this is a, doesn't even need to be authorized, you know, this is who you sign this. Fire chief, once that's signed.
Lady
Slides in
across
here,
the-
and then.
Yeah, you got a certain level.
Do you need a partner? No.
Yavapai
And
County,
he did,
don't need a partner.
at that time,
3 counties, I think, in the
Do
state.
you have a water right? I have a water right. Anything you can trade. What is it? State water rights. Door open.
Because
He asked me for big money. I never got, never got. Yeah.
well, I'm more afraid of the snakes here now.
How you doing? You doing okay, are you? Good.
Yeah, because the greens,
Sitting down here now,
the
huh?
greens are not a normal snake.
Yeah.
It's a neural venom rather than just a venom. And so if they're not treated, there was a gal,
Good.
there's a gal that was on a walk, got bit, got called a helicopter.
Well, we're married.
So therefore.
Therefore,
Lawyered out.
Sugar high.
you okay with that? Whatever we do. You're gonna have to administer it, so. Yeah. Get what you can. Okay, we are back. Are we all here?
Yep.
We're back in regular session. I will read the,
Wait, are we gonna,
pardon?
are we gonna exit executive session?
We're in, well, we're back in regular session again, from executive session. We're gonna consider possible action to exercise the authority granted in Governor Ducey Executive Order 2020-43, allowing or denying organized public events of more than 50 people, effective until the governor rescinds the executive order. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion that the town will continue to deny organized public events over 50 people on town-owned property until Governor Ducey rescinds his executive order 2020-43.
Second.
I have a motion, 2 seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. let's go on to item A, consideration possible action to approve ordinance 2020-85, amending the Chino Valley Town Code, XV Land Usage, Chapter 154, Unified Development Ordinance, adopting by reference the September 2020 amendments to the Chino Valley Town Code, Chapter 154, Unified Development Ordinance, including amendments to the subdivision regulation. Now that I've spouted all that, Mr. Cook, can you straighten that out?
Yep, I can do that. It's more than 3 slides. I'll breeze through it. How about that?
Okay. You want me to run your keyboard for you?
Well, I just skipped a slide.
Okay, good.
Since staff started rewriting these subdivision regulations back in November, we had a working draft, and we're set to present to the UDO subcommittee in December. That meeting was postponed until January. So the first UDO subcommittee meeting we held with regarding subdivision regulations was back on January 15th, 2020. Since that point, staff has held roughly 7 different meetings, including the study session with the council. And then we held another UDO subcommittee on July 22nd, 2020, where we went over all the community discussion and all the comments that we received during the study session. We postponed our UDO subcommittee till the end of July to allow for the public to give comments to staff regarding the draft. Staff received no comments. When we held our July 22nd, 2020 UDO subcommittee meeting, there were 2 citizens in attendance. They provided some discussion and comments, nothing that would change the text, however. Since that time, staff has worked with the UDO subcommittee as well as our town attorney to come up with the final language. One of the things that we were asked to define was the parent parcel. See if I included the language. If not, I'll read it for you. Okay. So, so we included a definition for parent parcel, and to accommodate those individuals who felt that the town had drawn a line when we had not, we are proposing a one-time parent parcel reset with the adoption of this code, which would mean that every single existing parcel that was legally split, that exists today legally, would be considered a parent parcel. This would address the concerns of those who feel that the town may or may not have told them that they could split their property. They can then go through that process, and we would look to see if they qualify for a land split not requiring a subdivision. If that split would create a street, whether they call it an easement or whatever, that would trigger the subdivision. However, there are certain individuals that this will help alleviate some of the issues that they brought up at the study session. What's that?
Sally B.
Yeah. During the Planning Commission meeting, there were 3 main issues that the Planning Commission brought up. The first was a septic question. The language in the preliminary plat included language that required the developer to bring percolation tests and results of that to the Public Works Director. We have since checked with the county, the main reviewer there, if that is a requirement. It is not. The preliminary plat is a conceptual level drawing. It should not require the developer to put out a lot of money with that regard when approval of the preliminary plat has not even occurred yet. So what we learned is that the town can require up until building permit for each individual lot if we want to go that far out, but we're not proposing that. What we're proposing is that for preliminary plat, specifically, they would state whether they are going to use septic, sewer, or what alternative method for waste management that they're gonna provide. This is in line with what we have found with the county, and so we have included that language in the draft. The second was turning radius for cul-de-sacs. Staff had discussed the turning radiuses back in December. and had come up with a number that we felt was sufficient to allow for fire trucks and buses to turn around on a cul-de-sac. We, at the request of the Planning Commission, we verified that, and we have increased the turning radius from 41 feet to 48 feet to accommodate the buses and the fire trucks. That language in the draft that you have been given, it's reflected in that draft now. The other issue was that there were 2 words that we had left in that were shouldn't have been there, so we deleted those out. They were just extra words that somehow didn't get deleted originally. With that, from study session to now, those are really the only changes that we have made to the text that was available to you on June 30th of this year. And that was presented to the UDO subcommittee on July 22nd and to the Planning Commission on August 13th. So if you have any questions or comments, I can address those now.
We have gone over this and over this, so. Ms. Perkins?
The strikeout for public way, where's easement defined?
Easement is defined in the definition of street. So if they want to create a subdivision using an easement, we would consider that a private street. And if it's 2 to 3 lots, they would be required to improve it according to the 2 to 3 lot, the table that defines for 2 to 3 lots.
Is there the definitions, are they included or no?
Definition of street is actually existing in our code. If you want, just give me a minute, I can grab it.
The reasons for my questions, gentlemen, is I have an easement, but I don't believe it's a street. It's just parallel to my property. So if I were to subdivide, I'm just wondering the definition of easement and how it will be enforced with this becoming a street.
Okay, so the definition for street in our code says any existing or proposed parkway, avenue, boulevard, road, lane, parkway, place, bridge, viaduct, or easement for public vehicular access. So if that easement on your property is where your lot gets your required lot frontage, then that would be considered the street that serves that lot.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
No.
Good. Anybody else?
I just had one item on the minimum street designs on page 30, or actually page 46 of 95 of our, and what it was that I had come up with is just on the number of lots, on the 2 to 3 column, a subgrade of 6 inch, I'd like to change that base depth to 4 and a surface depth of 2. So you actually have 6 on 6. Was the only thing, and I know we had waffled a little bit on that back and forth, but that would be my only request. Pardon me? Yeah, change the 3 on the surface depth to 2 and the base depth of 4 inches versus 6 inch. So you'd have a total of 6 inch between those 2.
I would defer to the Public Works Director on that since I'm not an engineer.
With just the 2 to 3 lots, I don't see that as a problem.
Okay.
Okay, that's change to be made. Anything else?
That was it?
Mr.
Really?
Turner?
I'm good.
Mr. Kelly?
Good.
Mr. Jack?
You ready?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion, we approve ordinance number 2020-885, amending the Chino Valley Town Code Title 15, Land Usage, Chapter 154, Unified Development Ordinance, adopted by reference the September 2020 amendments to the Chino Valley Town Code, Chapter 154, Unified Development Ordinance, including amendments to subdivision regulations.
Do you have a question on that?
I would just say add to the motion the
All the
proposed
changes.
change
Add
by
to the 2 changes?
Corey.
One
Change,
change,
okay.
2 changes?
There's
And
change.
with the changes of the
Corey.
6 to 3 and 3 to 2, or 6 to 4 and 3 to 2?
Is that what it is? 6-4, okay. With those changes, thank you.
Yep.
I
I'll
need a
second.
second. I got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yay, we got that thing on the road. Good.
One
Thank you
down.
for all, thank you
Thank
for
you.
all the work you've done and for our UDO committee, what they've done. And Andrew too.
Everybody celebrate on their
Yeah, we'll
personal
celebrate.
property tonight.
A glass of wine will be good later on. Okay, let's go to B. Consideration possible action to approve the cooperative purchasing agreement with Motorola Solutions, Inc. for the purchase of 25 new Motorola APX 400 VHF M8Z Model 2 portable radios in the amount of $58,370.75. Chief, you got the floor.
Mayor and Council, the Manager Gritman touched on this earlier in my response that I wrote for you. We budgeted these radios over 2 budget years, this budget year and next budget year, but we received a grant from the Attorney General's office that we're able to purchase 10 of the radios we need. The radios we're replacing are hand-me-downs from the fire department that we got several years ago. They're outdated, they can't get new parts, so they're kind of piecemealing them together and patching them up. But just as an example, 2 weeks ago, we had an officer, had someone run from him, and he had this gentleman at gunpoint, and we have the body cam. He called 3 times on the portable radio, could not get the dispatcher, had to bring out his cell phone and call dispatch. So they're very much needed, and with the grant from the Attorney General's office, we'll be able to replace them all this year.
Questions?
So these are state-of-the-art then?
They're the newest, and they're actually, they can be converted to digital, which is the way everything's going in the future. So these have a feature where they can just be switched to digital if we were to go to that in the future without buying new radios.
Great.
And Officer Pizzi actually has, we were able to purchase a couple in last year's budget, and so he's one of the few that has the new ones.
Does
So
that work okay?
Yeah, a lot better than what we have.
Okay. Thank you.
And programmable frequencies, I assume?
yes, sir. We contract with CAFMA, the fire department radio shop, to do our programming and upkeep our radios. So yes, when they come in, they are sent over there and they're programmed.
Okay.
I make a motion we approve the cooperative purchase agreement with Motorola Solutions Incorporated for the purchase of 25 new Motorola APX 4000 VHS Mertz Model 2 portable radios in the amount of $58,370.75.
Second.
The motion is second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Mr. Turner,
Yes, sir.
it's your turn.
Oh. Okay. I'll make a motion, we adjourn?
All in favor, say
Second.
aye.
Aye.
Motion is second.
Aye.
All in favor.
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank
We
you.
got so much accomplished tonight.
We did. We did.
Well, I mean, over the past year, finalized tonight.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.